Yeah, I've gone ahead to mark them. This is the stretchy part, the 26 length of our base cap. Let's measure it. This is the 26 length, 26 on the stretchy parts, because I'm going to you can see 27, but you can use 26. Me, I'm going to weave it at the end of the day. I'm going to weave it. That is why, but even it's also okay for the 27 so that you have a backdrop, so that it will be okay to give that backdrop to fall down at the back side. This is 2.5 inch. I want to use it for the band because I don't want to cut another material for the band. I want to sew directly from the base. I want to get my band from this base. That is why I took that length 22 instead of 20 inch. That is length 20. I went ahead to take length 22 because of the band I want to create inside this base. I want my band to come from this base. That is why. So now I'm going to run my stitch on this 2.5 to form my band. That is why I pinned that place down. That is my band. From that pinned band, I measured 1.5. 1.5. As you can see, this is the 1.5. After the band, I'll still measure 1.5 like that. Next line 1.5 till the end of the fabric. As seen, this is the 1.5 all through. So the remaining part, that one is not 1.5, but it's necessary that you allow some inch to be remaining there because you're going to run on that place. Now I use my long ruler to rule this line. To get a straight line, I use this ruler. Now I'm going to my sewing machine to run on those lines with very little small, just like a pinch. Just run on it. Run it to the end. Run them until you finish the pleat. They call this pleat. Until you finish all the pleats, body pleats, till you get to the end. You leave that 1 inch that is remaining. This is it. That is the band where I took my 2.5. There's my band. I run it down from the inside. Then when you raise it up, you see how it will look. Okay. Some people do attach their own band separately, but I just decided to do it together with this. Now look at the pleats. 1.5 inch. I pleated them down. Yes, this is the inside. These are the inside looks, and the outside part. These are the thing looks. Then we go ahead to face the material to join them in together to get our midpoint. Go to our machine. We're going to run it down. Run it down. That is the essence of that 1 inch remaining at the edge. You must keep that inch remaining for the last running where you join your cap. This is the EF, a kind of ear that you're about to form. This is the 17 inch, the smaller one, then the other one is the 19 inch. All are cut into 5.5. Then this is the part I don't want it to be four corner. I just want it to have a kind of slant shape, a curve at the edge. You can leave yours in that four corner, but I decided to curve mine a little to give it a sharp edge at the end side. If you want yours to be like this, exactly like this, you can go ahead and trim some inch. Just trim it as in, just a bit. But if you don't want it like this, you can do it the 4-corner way. You can just leave it like that. Go ahead and run it. We're going to our machine and we are done sewing. This is how it looks after turning it out. Leave like 1 inch for turning out, and this is how it came out. I've already sewn the 17 inch. I've already closed that part, so I want to close the 19 inch now. And this is how it will look like when we are done. I've ironed them and I've sewn every part. Close everywhere. Now we are going to place this on top of our band, on top of our base, and the mid-point of our base. We want to get the midpoint of our base. We use our biro to get that point, mark it from the band down to the end of the base. You get your midpoint. Even at the inside part to the outside part, to also create my straight line to get the midpoint. So this is how it will be. To ensure that one is longer than the other one and it will be visible. Now you are going to place the shorter one under, then place the longer one on top. If you want it to face the left side, like what you're seeing. So for me, I want it to face the left side like this. When I sew it, it will be like this. You can see that there's a difference. There's a long and short, so it's showing. You don't have to carry a long one to cover the short one, because we want the short one to be sure to be visible. So we're going to run it like this, as seen. So this is my mark. Make sure you mark all the midpoints, both back and the front. It's my pen or your chalk to get the midpoint, because the ear we placed at the midpoint. And please watch very carefully how I placed it. The short one is under and the long one is on top. You can see, so that when you run it, you now flip it to the other side. This is our loop. We use it to cover it. It's measured 4 inch by 7 lengths. I'll go to my machine and run it down. As seen, when we are done running it, we'll now turn it. So this is what I said earlier. You can see how it is. After running it, we now flip it to the other side in a way that the short one will be showing at the other side. Then we now cover it. We face the material to the right side, because we want to cover the cap. We want to sew it. Before then, we are going to take our band, the band measurement, where we want our cap to rest. Me, I like taking 10.5, depending on the material. If I take 11, it will not be tight on my head, so I will decide to take 10.5. You can also take 11 or 10.5, depending on how tight you want the material, your turban to fit on your head. So you go ahead and take the measurements that fits. Mine is 10.5. So you run it at the band. Watch carefully. You mark it. You take it from the base down, and you curve it like 1 inch before you go down. Then at the edge too, you run it again, but you will not finish, you will not close it up entirely there. You will keep like 1 inch for an opening where the loop will pass. Just watch carefully. This is where our 1 inch is. You can see our 1 inch. That place should be opened. So we are sewing and stopping at that 1 inch. Don't close it. So after that, since when I had to weave it, the rough edge, so that hand, and it's also good for this back drop. It's good for your turban to have that drop at the back. The excess is okay. Leave it like that. If you got the 26 or 27, it's okay. That is the 1 inch I left open. I'm turning to the right side. That is when our loop will pass through. As seen, we are turning the loop to the right side. As seen. Pass our loop to cover the edge of this ear drop. You can see what the loops look like. The line should be inside. You can see the sewn part is under. The sewn part should be under. This is what you want to achieve. You have to flip it back so that the short one will be on top. Will be showing. This is what you want to achieve. Then you use your loop to cover it like this. Before then, I want to run a gather stitch at the top, so that it will not be difficult for the loop to pass through, so that it will be easy for the loop to pass through. So I use my needle and thread to run a gather in that place before we use the loop. So we are going to gather it with our thread. You can gather it from the inside. You can turn it to the wrong side and sew it at the midpoint. And please don't sew directly on the band. Don't sew on the band. That 2.5 inch that you sew down as the band, don't use your needle to sew on to cover it. Just immediately after the band, then you run your gathers. Run your gathers immediately after the band. As seen. This running stitch, the gathers, can be done inside of the cap. If you want it to be neat, you can follow. You can run it from the inside. But I decided to do mine outside because I want to cover it with loop, so the thread will not be showing. Which way to still come out? Any way you wish to take it to still come out. Either you run it from the inside or from the outside. And when I run it, I didn't even see the thread outside. I didn't see the thread outside because I want to cover it with a loop. I didn't bother to take it from the inside. You can see the thread is not showing. You can run it from the inside if you wish. You can run it from the outside if you wish. You can see the gathers have covered the thread. Then I want to lock it, I want to tie it so I do not lose. Doing this process makes it to be more easier for the loop to hold the ear, because without this process to gather the gathers with that loop will be too bulky for the loop to carry. So after doing it with needle and thread, so you need to needle and thread, go ahead to use the loop to cover it. Easy loop. Watch carefully. This is the sewn part. Should be faced down, as seen. You pass it through that 1 inch you left open. Make sure you flip the ear at the right side in a way, such a way that the short one will be on top while the long one will be down. Then you now run a stitch as seen. Go to the machine and run it. After running it, we are going to also run a gather stitch at the back side of the cap. We are ending at that spot. We stop here. We stop there. So we are gathering our cap now at the back, and when you are gathering your cap, you don't start from the band. Immediately after the band is where you now use your needle and thread. Don't gather the layers. Don't gather at that part, at that band part. Immediately after the band is where you start sewing with your needle and thread. And don't sew to this curve side. Just take it straight at the edge. This is where you're going to stop. And lock your cap here, the edge, as seen. At this point, we are locking our cap. We are locking it so that it will not lose. Make sure you use matching thread, pull up thread, and the thread should be thick enough to hold the cap. You double your thread, thick enough to hold the cap. We're done with our cap. This is how it looks after everything. Body pleats with ear at the side, and I went ahead to even tack it a bit so that it will not move. At this point, you can use your